Women are on the rise in the world. Women's movements are at the forefront of most social justice struggles today, all over the world. And those that represent the future are movements that embrace feminisms that are also anti-racist and anti-capitalist.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise. This is a long-distance race, not a sprint.
Ethereal, so surreal, I cannot be comprehended except by my permission. I mean, I can fly like a bird in the sky.
I stand before you today as a candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States of America.
Yeah, but the only point is I cannot stand up, I cannot walk without wobbling, and I stagger. Now, if I'm an activist, it ain't physical activity.
Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American woman in Congress in 1968. Her motto in her book expressing her advocacy for women and minorities was unbossed and unbought. She was more aware of racial and gender inequality than ever. Discrimination continued in her career, and she was blocked from participating in the 1972 televised debates. She then took legal action and was finally able to make one speech. Still, students, women, and minorities followed what became the Chisholm Trail. Of her legacy, Chisholm said, "I want to be remembered as a woman who dared to be the catalyst of change." The reason I admire Shirley as a feminist is because of her perseverance to continuously fight for the rights she as a woman deserves. She ignored the discrimination happening around her and kept making history for women of color in America. Angela Davis was inspired to join the civil rights movement after 4 girls were killed in the bombing of 16th Street Baptist Church in 1963. Angela did something that put herself in danger simply to fight for what is right. I constantly find myself fighting this internal battle to either do what is right or stick to the norm happening. To me, feminism is something that should open up a huge wave of people. Just like Angela said, queer, trans, disabled, undocumented, people with records, and more. Feminism is a movement that every woman should feel comfortable and confident with, and that starts with inclusion.
And if you try to sprint the first quarter of it, you will not finish the race. You will be worn out. It is a race that requires preparation.
Bonnie Thornton Dill is director of the Center for Research on Women at Memphis State University. Her vision improves the lives of many women. Through her leadership, the center was established to promote, advance, and conduct research on working-class women in the South and women of color throughout the nation. Bonnie was able to take the mistreatment that she grew up with and turn it into activism. The most moving way to make a change is turning pain into courage. She is a feminist in my eyes because of her impact she has on the women throughout history. She created centers that promote and advance women of color and never backs down on her goals. Florence Kennedy was an American civil rights attorney, a political activist, and a pioneer in the second wave of feminism. Part of the feminist movement is the willingness to forget about what other people are thinking about you. What Florence showed me as a feminist is that no one is going to care about what you're wearing, they will care about what you have to say. She was able to turn her energy into activism. Society won't be able to change without this kind of energy. In fighting for women's rights, Kennedy helped found the Women's Political Caucus and the National Black Feminist Organization. Nikki Giovanni is a prominent poet and writer who first caught the public's attention as part of the Black arts movement of the late 60s. To me, Nikki is a feminist through her art. Her poems depict the hard struggles she went through and the amazing fights she continues to battle. I personally love poetry, and reading her poems allowed me to fully feel the things that she advocates and is passionate about. All 5 of these amazing women have showed me how hard it gets while fighting for what is right. Women of color face a constant torment of picking their battle. They have to decide if they should make fighting for their rights as a race a priority or their rights as a woman. Feminism cannot be completely accomplished if issues regarding race are still heavily prevalent in society. As a white woman, it is extremely important to constantly educate myself and learn about the struggles women of color face regarding the feminist movement. The most important thing that I have learned is that the fight is not always about myself, but it is also about the women around me. The whole point of feminism is to fight for women as a whole and the rights that everyone deserves.